Finally, I'm here with important topic. If we want our children to thrive in the modern world, then there is a 300-year-old system we must upgrade. Today, I'm here on a mission to upgrade the way children learn. Carl Sagan once said, children have this curiosity that is little by little killed during school years. In kindergarten, they ask the question like, why do we have toes? Why is the moon round? What's the birthday of the world? And somewhere between 1st and 12th grade, that curiosity and self-direction are gone. And it's not just because of puberty. So since 1717, when the school model was conceived, schools divided students by age and grade to teach in the same content in expecting to regurgitate in test. It was a great innovation, but for a role very different from today. So off we went, our life journey start our life turning at 5 and up to in kindergarten where teachers told us exactly what to do to be successful in life. The animals to paint, the books to read, these subjects to learn, the colleges to attend, and the jobs to choose. And all we had to do was to sit and wait for the next instruction. First, I'll give you a bad news. Our brains are hacked. We learn to this missile deepest desire to fulfill the definition of success. Somebody else designed for us. Now the good news is that our children can have a different experience because there is a way to foster their self-direction and curiosity and superpowers which we can transform education worldwide without the leading existing system. Our team designed a simple approach school which we can use today to harness that curiosity, natural learning process. So we call it learning autonomy, the ability to function with minimal external guidance. It's what your 1-year-old does naturally when she wants to walk and talk and eat and put a little finger in the electrical outlet, all by herself. We use neuroscience principle to design a 6-step learning framework, learning autonomy, that does not require a new curriculum, more teachers, insane investments, updated school policies, or even the coolest app because it starts from something. Every student already has a brain. So all we have to do is gradually set out of the kids' way. Here is an example of how learning autonomy happens. Students Laura and Julian were learning about environmental responsibility while exploring agriculture. So the first step is goal setting and planning. When students themselves state an intention which increases the chance of achieving by 2 to 3 times. The second step is to explore how to connect this subject to previous knowledge. We accelerate learning new concepts when we are able to connect them to what we are already know. Something as simple as I heard the first station impact climate change. Laura and Julian had limited access to technology or books. So they conducted a research by interviewing local farmers. This is by far the famous step of most students because they must be creative to find answer. It's like becoming the new learner, unconventional solutions to learn using the resources around you. They designed a comic to explain the concepts they learned. Then they invited other kids, create a costumes and play the comic so everyone could relate to their joint responsibility of preserving nature. Then, once all of that is done, they self-assess their performance in each step and ask to accomplish goals. They reinforce their I can do this attitude. So all teachers and parents have to do is to plug in any subject to the 6 steps, and the more students practice learning autonomy, the more it becomes a habit. Now our brains love habits. So if its students want to learn to play guitar, to invest in cryptocurrencies, or even to learn a new profession in the future, they can do so because they have the blueprint to do it anywhere, anytime. Now, what makes things that learning autonomy develops only skills but the continuous self improvement and self reflection throughout the learning process? Also, it develops social emotional skills like self esteem, self awareness, perseverance, and so on. When students are in the driver's seat, they learn to take control of the outcome, which is a huge intrinsic motivational booster. Research on by Columbia University concluded that the need for control is a biological imperative. When people believe they are in control, they work hard, they boost themselves more. We were running some webinar with students recently. Say they could share their experience. And one audience member asked, how was a bad day for an autonomous learner? And 15-year-old answered, look, I had this feeling of the depression and anxiety like any other kid. But I can recognize them and redirect them to focus on what really matters. For autonomous learners, social emotional development is embedded in the learning process. So, how to transition from the education system as we know to learn autonomy? It's simple. Decide to do it and getting done. In work, there are over 5,000 teachers. In various countries, we saw that teachers can upgrade the way they teach today in less than one school year. Schools we work with have reported an average increasing in reading comprehension by 40% per year. Dropout rates is close to zero and 100% of curriculum coverage. Most of all students are confident because they believe in themselves, and teachers are joyful again because they can realize their calling, and parents tell us that their children become better citizens of the house. For example, taking charge of household chores. Now, I am very aware of the challenges we are facing: education, teachers' compensation, learning loss, lack of resources, full leader-sized school board, to name a few. And the responsibility to solve those challenges are in the hands of few. But I believe when children have the chance to leave their learning, many of them issues will vanish. I have seen it happening to thousands of students with impact every year, and being an autonomous learner is even more crucial in today's world as artificial intelligence drives our everyday use of technology. Here is why students prefer their phones to teachers' lecture. With the use today, everything is personalized to you. Your social media feed, your online shopping mall, your music list. Dopamine is firing in your brain that grabs your attention, and there is this gratification, and you can even socialize with others and you didn't even notice. But now you have this blend of chemicals in your brain. You will become a hackable being, susceptible to customize ad, fake news, or whatever the app decide for you. And this technology is are here to stay the way we have a healthy coexistence with them is by developing control. So you are still exposed to all the good stuffs, but now because you are aware of it, you will become a non-hackable being, an autonomous thinker and learner. The world has changed significantly from 300 years ago, and so have the problems we must solve. And here is our chance to bring 2 billion brains into the game by working with what children already have. And all we have to do now is give a first step toward the developing children's learning autonomy and unleash a process, a purpose-driven lifelong learning.